Today, torpedo strike. An American sub destroys an Iranian warship as Israel unleashes fresh strikes. Special coverage ahead.
Home at last.
Oh, God. Mixture of emotions.
Relief for war-trapped Aussies. The first flight from the Middle East touches down in Sydney.
Also this morning, will Greg Lynn be released on bail? A decision hours away on Victoria's accused high country killer.
A licence to ride. Queensland's e-bike blitz. Tough new rules to make southeast streets safer.
1 year after Cyclone Alfred, how Gold Coast beaches are bouncing back as a new threat looms in the far north.
Radio lawfare. Why Kyle and Jackie O's breakup could turn into a costly legal showdown.
Plus, footy's back. The Eels and Storm ready for battle in Melbourne as the AFL season opens in Sydney.
And superstar surprise Ed Sheeran's heartwarming Melbourne visit to some very special kids. Today, Thursday, the 5th of March, 2026.
From 9 News, this is your news today.
Good morning and thank you for your company this Thursday. This is your news today, streaming on 9 Now and on YouTube. First up, Iran postpones their Supreme Leader's state funeral as Israeli bombardment continues. Plus, treaty talks, Australia and Canada to consider a defence deal. And an olive branch of sorts. The Beckhams share a sweet birthday message for their estranged son.
We begin, though, in the Middle East, where there's been an extraordinary development. The United States sinking an Iranian warship using a torpedo for the first time since World War II. Let's go live to Mimi Becker in Tel Aviv. Good morning, Mimi.
Good morning, Carl. The United States is warning that it's going to go deeper into Iran, and its full capability was on display, taking down that Iranian ship within seconds. More than 80 people died in that attack, and Israel also continues to strike Iran and Lebanon as well. Iranian officials say the death toll there is now at more than 1,000 people killed. I visited a hospital here in Israel today where they've moved more than 250 patients underground to be treated, including the neonatal unit. And I spoke to a new dad there.
We chose the name Shalev, which is mean peaceful. We hope he will bring us peace and quietness, and he will be the antithesis of this situation.
Israelis hoping for peace as the war wages on. Carl.
Mimi, thank you. Iran has postponed a ceremony commemorating Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei amid fears the gathering could be a target for US and Israeli strikes. An Iranian news agency claiming the service in Tehran was delayed due to the logistical issues. Interim leaders say they're close to naming Khamenei's successor, his second son, among the top contenders.
Emotional scenes in Sydney as hundreds of stranded travellers return to Australia from the Middle East. Let's bring in Jack Hahn, who joins us from Sydney Airport.
Yes, good morning to you, Sarah. Certainly was an emotional scene here at Sydney Airport. More than 200 Australians touching down this morning. They are safe and sound, among them 19 students stuck in the region and a woman making it home just in time for her wedding. Take a look.
We felt quite safe overall, but we're getting married next week, so finally we can make that wedding.
Of course, you're trying to keep it all together for your family and friends who are worried about you. But now I'm home, yeah, so grateful.
And so basically what I had to do was book 15 different flights, and 14 of them got cancelled. It was quite a penny.
There are also Americans on board, one family spending $100,000 to take the long way back to Texas via Sydney, then onwards up there. A 16-hour journey from Sydney, so a long way home from there for them.
Yeah, some really emotional scenes there. Thank you, Jack.
The US says it is not done yet and will strike deeper into Iran. Let's go live to Reid Butler in the US.
Carl, the US reiterating that Operation Epic Fury so far has been an epic success. The White House even says that in the coming hours, the United States will have total control over Iranian airspace. But from the US Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, a new time frame floated today, up to 8 weeks. That is the longest we have heard. And this will give you an idea of what those days, each day in that extended conflict, could look like.
Death and destruction from the sky all day long. We're playing for keeps.
There's also been tensions between the United States and European allies, but the White House press secretary today has said that it is the US President Donald Trump's expectation that Europe goes along with the mission.
Thanks, Reid.
Troops could move easily between Australian and Canadian military facilities thanks to a new treaty-style agreement. Anthony Albanese will today host Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney at Parliament House. Carney says he's on a mission to unify middle power countries against global superpowers. Accused high country killer Greg Lynn could be released on bail in just a matter of hours. Lynn is currently awaiting a retrial over the alleged murder of camper Carol Clay after his conviction was overturned on appeal. A decision on bail is expected at 9:30. The former pilot has always maintained his innocence. Now to a Today weather alert. A 600-kilometre stretch of the far north Queensland coast is on cyclone watch. A developing tropical low triggering flood alerts. Isolated areas between Cooktown and Townsville expecting nearly 300 millimetres of rain.
Catchments that are very swollen, but I want Queenslanders to know we have pre-positioned our assets. Emergency authorities are ready to go.
The system is expected to hit tomorrow.
Accused high country killer Greg Lynn could be released on bail in just a matter of hours. Lynn is currently awaiting a retrial over the alleged murder of camper Carol Clay after his conviction was overturned on appeal. A bail decision is expected at 9:30 this morning. The former pilot has always maintained his innocence. F1 fever has well and truly hit Melbourne ahead of the Australian Grand Prix. Let's go live to Trevor Long, who's at Albert Park, his happy place. Trev?
Morning, Sarah. Yeah, thousands of fans already here in the wee small hours ahead of the gates opening today for the Formula One Grand Prix. There's no Formula One action today. It is tomorrow when all the action starts. These fans are here to see the drivers, take photos, get selfies and see some track action of some support races. Tomorrow, a new era of Formula One begins right here at Albert Park.
Let's do it again.
Thank you, Trev. Footy is officially back. The NRL has returned home from its Las Vegas adventure for a blockbuster between the Storm and the Eels at Amy Park tonight. Craig Bellamy's side chasing a 24th straight round one win.
At the end of the day, it's not that important in the context of it's the start of a new season and getting back to playing their best footy.
In the AFL, the Swans will take on Carlton in the season opener, made even hotter by Charlie Curno's headline-making trade. Ed Sheeran wraps up his Australian tour tonight at Adelaide Oval. The singer is coming off 3 massive Melbourne concerts and a special performance at the Royal Children's Hospital. Thousands of fans are expected tonight in Adelaide, his only show in South Australia.
He's a nice fella, isn't he?
Yes.
Well, Sir David and Victoria Beckham have seemingly moved to mend ties with their son, depending on which way you look at it. Brooklyn publicly wishing him a happy birthday.
They posted photos of him as a child to their Instagram stories saying, "I love you."
Oh.
Brooklyn exposed their bitter feud in January, claiming they'd tried to ruin his relationship with his wife, Nicola Peltz, and I do recall him saying he's not after reconciliation either.
And they do not live their lives through Instagram.
No, of course not.
More on that later. Let's take a look at the weather right across the country now, and a tropical low is making things very wet for coastal parts of far north Queensland.
Showers for Brisbane, partly cloudy for Sydney, Melbourne and Adelaide, sunshine for Hobart and Perth. We'll see a top of 35 degrees.